Welcome back. I'm Brandon, the HBAR Bull, and as many of you know, I do some work for the HBAR Foundation. Today, we're lucky enough to have the team from Web23 who's looking to spice up web domains with Hedera. Thanks for coming, guys.
Good morning, Brandon. Yeah, we're happy to be here.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. It's a different space from that we've talked about in the past, so it's going to be fun to get into these questions. But to start off, can you guys just tell us a bit about your team and go through some introductions?
Yeah, be happy to introduce my team. First, I'm Del Iglesia. I'm from the Web 2 and Web 3 world now, specializing in IT and domain names. We have Sam Kiran, our co-founder, who is a DNS visionary, I would say, and Rahul, who's coming from the blockchain world to help us in the smart contract side of things.
I gotcha. So why did you choose domain names and DNS as your main focus, and why exactly are domain names important to Web3?
Yeah, very good question. Actually, when I started on my journey here on Web3, right? On other chains, we noticed that there's already a lot of developments done utilizing the decentralized way of doing things and using domains. And we figured, that's also be interesting to put it into Hedera. So we started building our team, and here we are. Would like to really give the community the best domaining system that we have to offer.
Sure. So what problems is Web23 trying to solve here?
Yeah, let me take that. So I'm privileged to be here, and just a little brief of introduction of mine. So I'm calling and I'm joining from India, and I have been doing this Linux stuff for almost 2 decades, done DNS for almost a decade. One of my findings was patent pending, I think in 2012 or 13. So the specific problems which we are trying to solve at Hedera, number one is to allow people to have .HBAR names. That would be exciting to send money and receive using just the names like Del.HBAR, sending money to, let's say, Brandon.HBAR. That's number one use case. But that's not the end of the DNS. We are not going to just have the mapping between the NFTs which you have or just your names. We are going to go beyond that for the entire Hedera community. We are going to have and allow the Web 2 domains, which everybody has, .com, .net, somewhere there in the ICANN world. So we are going to bring those Web 2 domains to the same dashboard, to the same interface, and you can play with the Web 2 domains and the Web 3 domains in the seamless manner, because either the companies which are trying to do so in the domain space, either they are focused in Web 3 or either they are focused in Web 2. It's like a 2 different worlds. We are trying to have a bridge. We are into the transition phase. So we thought it's the best time to have this for Hedera, starting with the Hedera, the great community here, making sure that we have the HBAR domains and we also bring the goodies of the ICANN world so that we manage both kinds of domains from the same space.
Yeah, that makes sense. You mentioned a dashboard. What dashboard are you referring to?
This is the dashboard or the web application. So basically all the web apps nowadays, we call it as dashboard. So let's say the user logs in, and obviously with the Web3 logins, you need to have the wallet because you are recognized by your wallet. So as soon as you connect to the wallet, you get whatever domains you have booked in. You have the history section. You can mint off the new domains. You can play with the domains .HBAR here and there. And you can also plug and play with the Web 2 domains if you have one. And this is by dashboard, we mean the web-based application to start off.
Okay, I gotcha. So what exactly is the difference between a traditional domain and a smart domain?
That's the great question. Everybody has been asking this to us. So smart domains, we call them as smart domains because domains were dumb. If you go back to the early days of the internet and even the DNS today, they were dumb. So if you wanted to host a domain called bank.com, neither the DNS or the bank.com, they never bothered, so that they never give you the glimpse of the lookalike domains. At that time, it was okay. But when you fast forward to today's world, You have cyber squatters and phishing guys who would want to have bank.co or bank with the zero.com, and all the problems and all the impersonations and are out there. So by smart domains, we mean that the domains are intelligent in itself, and we make sure that the domains which somebody is trying to mint off is protected from the phishing with the built-in intelligence. The DNS which is trying to host it off is intelligent. The domains themselves are intelligent because we'll ensure that you are protected from the surrounding domains of yours, all those things, all those suggestions, so that you are less fished out, I would say, and less scam. So we want to have a pretty cleaner world, starting with the Hedera community.
So another thing that I noticed is you kind of want to tokenize the .com. What does this all mean for traditional domain holders? You know, you mentioned that we're going to be able to bring those over to the same dashboard. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, sure. So domains, as you say, basically they are with one of the top 3 registrars out there in the ICANN world. So people are hooked to player 1 or player 2. Just to give an example, let's say GoDaddy is everybody's darling. So people have domains with GoDaddy most of the times. So when you have domains there, it's kind of locked. Either you want to, when you want to sell it off, you go to the GoDaddy guys and you tell them, okay, I want to sell them off because you are holding those domains. You have put in some money. You're just holding it for last 10, 12 years. Dale has been an evangelist and he keeps doing that. He loves that. So what we thought that the domains which are out there in the ICANN world, this would be great if we bring them to the Web3. So the moment you bring to the Web3, look what happens. The whole world becomes your marketplace. You get the liquidity, you get the visibility, and you don't need to depend upon some centralized forces to ensure which to sell, what to sell, when to sell. You just bring in the domains from the Web2 world, we'll tokenize on the Web3, and boom, you get the liquidity and the visibility. So you can sell, you can make a premium out of it, you can stake. Those are the things which would have in the coming weeks and months. And the winner is the consumer or somebody who is holding off those domains, both in the HBAR thing and the Web2 domains.
So the next question is the standard question we have, and Dell, you might be able to start off on the broader vision, and then the technical guys can jump in a little bit further. But the standard question I always ask: why did you guys choose to use Hedera?
Brandon, that's very great question, actually, in my journey here in Hedera. As you know, again, of all of our team members, maybe I'm the I'm the granddaddy of all. I started from Web 1, or actually even pre-Web 1. I started from legacy, really legacy, to the punch cards way back there. But through that, you know, as we know, times passed. We've seen Web 1, we've seen Web 2, and now we're in Web 3. So, and when I was in Web 3, I'm trying to, you know, participate on it. I got into the other. I was also an evangelist of another chain, but again, starting from blockchain, we know the problems of blockchain in Ethereum already with their fees and gas fees, right? So I went into like hash graph, similar hash graph, but it's a DAG. But still, again, it's free. And I said, oh, coming from a high expensive cost chain to a free, it's like, wow, this is good, right? But on my search there, I came across Hedera, or at that time Swirls, and they're not a public chain yet. But when I saw it, I said, wow, this is interesting. I would like to be there, but it's a public chain. So, I mean, private chain. So I said, I cannot do it. So and that time goes by, they became public. And that's when I said, oh, this is the place where I would like to be in. And I started researching, and actually, of all people, you're the one, ironically, that I watched those videos and I love them. And here I am. I said, oh, okay, what will I do in this space to contribute? And I said, oh, there's domain name space, because that's really where my interest is. And when we digged in deeper, yes, the elegancy of the SDK and the easy development and the cost and all the tokenomics, just, you know, I can't go anywhere else after that.
Yeah.
So here we are. We love Hedera.
Understood. Raul, maybe we can get you to answer. How has it been integrating with Hedera?
Yeah, so thank you for inviting me into this space. So for me, I have been working with Hedera for last couple of years, and I have been enjoying this journey since then. So my journey started with writing small codes, smart contracts, then integrating different SDKs, using different protocols and all those stuff. So I have worked with many blockchains. So I have worked with blockchains like Solana, Ethereum, and other blockchains. But I find this Hedera blockchain to be as the blockchain of the future, because the innovations, the foundations, the everything which it is built upon it's something which is unrealistic for me, and I'm enjoying this journey.
All right, so the first domain Web23 is going to offer is .hbar. When is this going to be available?
So we are going to have these HBAR domains minting launched sometime in the month of August. So we are all doing the homework, and we are making sure that everything is flawless. Right now, we would be entering into the alpha phase, and soon would be the beta out. And we are hopeful that we are going to launch this sometime in the month of August, hardly 1 month from today.
How will purchasing .hbar smart domains work, and how will you be able to use them initially?
Okay, so somebody who is interested to buy in or the mint in the HBAR domains, they need to come to the platform and web23.io here, and they need to search for domains. The normal way, a normal process you follow when you're trying to buy a domain with GoDaddy, for example. So you just have to search for your name. Let's say if it's hope.hbar, H-O-P-E, the system will tell you whether that's available or not. If it's not available, unfortunately, you can't mint that off. If it's there, you just need to mint it off. You will have to approve few transactions here and there. Those are the norms of the Web3 world. And once the smart contracts mint it off, you get that domain listed in the wallet from which you have connected to the application. So that's pretty simple and straightforward, and you just need to mint it off, and they will be there in your wallet. You can transfer them off also in the future. And as soon as you mint it off, the smart domain concept would come in, and it will try to give you suggestions as to which domains you should book for. Those are all automatic, and we'll make sure that if somebody is going to have hope.hbar, they should also mint the domain h0pe.hbar. Just if tomorrow, if cyber squatters or if your domain becomes very popular, nobody should take it off, or you should be sleeping nicely and in the nights, because you'll be taking care of all those close by domains. So yes, the process is pretty straightforward. You need to pay it through HBAR, mint off the domains, and enjoy the journey. I think that will not take more than a minute or two to just finish off the whole process.
I gotcha. Go ahead, Dale.
Yeah, Brandon. Yeah, I'd just like to add also to answer partly also of your question earlier that I would like to address is the Web 2 and Web 3, right? Web 2 domains cannot, for now, cannot access the Web 3 side of the world. And likewise, Web 3 domain cannot access, again, that cannot be redirected to the Web 2, to the icon world, right? Of course, we're with the some Chrome extensions. That's the way we are. That's the current state of things in the web world. So we will have our dashboard will have a easy interface so that you can hook up your, say, Brandon.hbar and link it to, redirect it to your, or if you have a website in the icon in the Web 2 world, so to speak. So it's an easy interface. We know all of the projects in Hedera are, we love simplicity. We love 1-2 buttons and done. So we're very sensitive to that, and that's what we're, our development efforts are geared to.
Okay. All right. So, your application can touch all of the different use cases we have in the space, whether it's startups, medium-sized companies, some of our enterprises. If you could work with anyone or any enterprise in the Hedera space, who would it be?
Would love to work with everyone. Really, we don't have any preference. We are a solution provider, so we definitely look forward to working with everyone.
I gotcha. So, what's your long-term outlook for the tokenization of domain spaces over the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so basically, starting from minting of the HBAR domains, will forward to allowing entities and startups, which you talked about, so they can also come to the platform and mint off their own HBAR, not the HBAR domains, but the domains which resonate their brand. For example, you as the brand, you can have .brandon, just to give you an example. So you can have your own BTLD. We call them as blockchain top level domains. So that would be the second phase. And then we are going to have this tokenization of the Web2 domains. So we are comfortable that people would come to us because we would be minting them in the Hedera ecosystem. And eventually all these domains which have been minted and which have been booked by us. So we ensure that Hedera in the tomorrow world become the clearing ledger for all the blockchains out there. So what I'm trying to say here is that we mint off the domains, and in the domain space, 2 letters work. I keep telling this to even Dell and my team. Those 2 letters are C and D. That means communicate. You have to be communicative and you need to delegate. That's how the ICANN world works. So even if you have some .sol assets or .eth assets tomorrow down the line, you can refer to .hbar, or from H or the Hedera ecosystem, you can go back to them using the same interface. So the mapping and resolving would be there. So it becomes cross-chain and interoperable. And we intend to make sure that our application over Hedera is going to be the clearing ledger for all the assets, Web2 tokenized and Web3 assets in different chains. We all speak to each other using the fundamentals of C and D so that everybody lives peacefully and Hedera wins at the end of the day.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is you mentioned that you could use these domains as your account. So instead of having a 0.0.1234 account, you could use one of these domains. How does that work exactly?
So basically, every wallet starts with Hedera 0.0 something. So when you're trying to mint off, let's say brandon.hbar, so you have this wallet associated with you and the wallet ID, or that's the account ID. So when the domains get minted, there is a mapping, there is a resolving between the domain name, which is the human readable thing, brandon.hbar here, and the backend account ID. So those two get mapped, so those two get glued. And that's the information we want to communicate and delegate to people, and as through that would be made possible through SDKs and the normal libraries which we have, so that different applications over Hedera, they can communicate to that. And even if they're trying to use their own services at different platform, if we're at a different platform also, you can use our resolving services to get to the names. So that's how it's going to work.
All right. So in the lead up to this, we've been communicating, and you said you're in a transitory phase. What exactly does that mean, and what can people expect as they get involved?
So we mean that, so we are neither in the Web 2 or nor in the Web 3. So people are still glued to Web 2. People are trying to get familiar with the Web 3 part, the domains, the NFTs, the DeFi. These are the great models and tools through which people are getting used to, and they are getting comfortable with Web 3. But still our one leg is in Web 2, and we are trying to march off in Web 3. So to do that, we need to have this kind of approach. And by transition, I mean, so somewhere you have to have this hook with the ICANN world when we are trying to speak of from the domains perspective. And even if you have .com, let's move on to .hbar in the Web3. And from the same domain perspective, our intention and plans is to take you to the metaverse world. So it becomes like a rail from .com in the Web2 world. You are brandon.com, you are brandon.hbar, and you're going to map off your assets in the metaverse using brandon.hbar. And you can slip off like from back and forth from the metaverse to the ICANN world and then to the Web3 world. So that's what we mean when we talk about the transition or the transitory phase.
Right. I'd like to add there too that the way other chains, right? We have to get some inspiration from what they're doing because they're way much more ahead, a little bit ahead of us, but we're right there. Like ETH and Ethereum, because that's the most popular chain, they use to link to their .eth names, they use ETH.link. So for us, we have already booked and plan to use HBAR.link and then hook it up into the Web3 domains, which could be, again, you have Brandon, that HBAR in the Web3, then we can have automatically hook you up with Brandon.hbar.link so that you'll have a very easy interface going into the Web3. And it's already, that convention, again, is already being used in .eth. So for that, we have to be aligned, right? So that we don't want to cause confusion. We want to have a simple a convention so that people will see us, right? And give that simplicity to bring them over, because the power of Hedera, I believe, is really if they see it in action. And that's where I got all my friends getting into Hedera when they say, oh, this is it? I said, yeah, duh. So it's like, we have to bring that simplicity in.
Yeah, no, makes perfect sense to me. I'm going to go around the horn and get your final thoughts. But, you know, when I came into this, I thought that domains were kind of boring. But now, after hearing all this about the smart domains and all the things that are possible, you're getting me a lot more excited. That's for sure. And you're absolutely right. The best way to get people to realize the potential of Hedera is to get them to actually use it. And all of the infrastructure that you're building and all the other applications is really going to prove that, no matter what people are interested in. But again, we're going to go around the horn and get some final thoughts. Sam, why don't you start off?
Yeah, sure. So we are excited and we are privileged to be part of HBAR Foundation, and especially the kind of support we are getting from the community, especially the developers and the ecosystem built around Hedera. So we are super excited. We are going to launch this soon. And I'm sure this thing would evolve into a huge tree where we have these tokenized domains and the clearing ledger is there. And we make sure whenever somebody talks about domains somewhere out there, even for Web 2, Web 3, or Metaverse, we and Hedera are there at the center. That's from my side. Thank you.
Couldn't agree more. Raul, do you have anything else you'd like to pass on to the community?
Yeah. So I am also excited in this venture. So I have been loving this journey till now, and I believe it's old days when we talk only about domains. Now it's smart domains, and we are ready for it.
All right, and Del, I'll give you the final word.
Okay, I would like to really thank Dr. Lehman Baird and Mans Harmon for this wonderful technology that solves the blockchain trilemma. Without them and their wisdom and all the stuff, trying to build a 100-year-old technology company that we resonate to won't be possible without them. So really, if not for Dr. Lehman Baird and Mans Harmon, you know, we'll probably still be searching for the Holy Grail. So I'd like to invite also everyone to join us in Twitter, follow us in Twitter, and join us in our Discord. And our website is web23.io. And
Perfect.
Thank you very much, Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for coming. And I hope we can do an AMA pretty soon on Twitter to make sure everybody understands exactly what you're doing.